Which one of you motherfuckers stole my mic? Which one of you motherfuckers stole my mic? So irritated. I have been looking all the fuck over and it's gone. I cannot find it. I tore my house apart this morning looking for it. I was like, I know one of the Roxstars took it because I know it's a group of y'all that don't like it, but I'm still telling you it's coming back. I was so mad because I had a song all planned out for y'all, but y'all lucky. But I'll tell you one thing, the devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah. The devil is a liar. Yeah, 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 yeah. Victory is mine. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It's like you can hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, first story up. All I can say is I'm so glad that it's my Friday. It's Thursday, but I don't have to work in the office tomorrow. And thank you, Jesus, for that, because your girl needs a vacation, y'all. I need a vacation. Me and Mr. are going out of town for New Year's, so I'm looking forward to it. I need it. We ain't went nowhere this year, and anyway, enough of that. First story up, you guys, Ray J. Child, why did the Combs boys want to whoop Ray J's ass? I mean, we know why they want to whoop Ray J's ass, because Ray J's mouth always gets himself in trouble. Okay? We know that Ray J is slick. We know that he's shady. We also know that he's funny. And he uses those those ways to get under the skin of many people. And this time he has found himself on the ill side of the Combs family, okay? And apparently Ray J was Ray J-ing as usual, and he was on one of his shows and he was talking about Puffy. Actually, I think this might have come, well, I think he said it came from when some comments he made on some show that he has, child. Forgive me, I did not go that far in the research. I also know that he had some things that he also said to Funny Marco when he was in that interview with Orlando Bloom, child. Orlando Brown. Is that his last name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Orlando from That's So Raven. the one. Okay. So whatever he's done, he said some things about Puffy and the Combs boys, you know, that would be Justin, Christian, and Quincy. You know, we know that Quincy is not Puffy's. However, Puffy still looks at Quincy as a son and Quincy still looks at Puffy as a dad. So these three were quite upset with the comments that Ray J had made about their father, and probably had made a pact that the next time that they saw him, they was going to have some words for him. I guess they was like, we can't whoop everybody's ass because everybody is talking about Puffy. However, they was like, we can get Ray J though. We can get that nigga when we see him. So they was at a party. After the party, from what we understand, they approached him. There was some words exchanged. There was some pushing, some shoving, according to Hazel Lee. You guys, first of all, this is the most... Sorry, you guys, I just had some breakfast, y'all, a little while ago. This is the most random story because just the group of people that were together, when you hear about this story, is just sort of like, what? But apparently there was a party going on, and we had the likes of the Combs family boys. We had the likes of a Ray J, and we had the likes of even a Chris Brown and a Hazel Lee all there at the same time. Okay, go figure. Anyway, apparently somebody caught up with Hazel Lee and asked her, like, what happened, because she was right there when the situation went down. And Hazel Lee said that, like I told you, when they were leaving out of the club, they saw Ray J, they approached him, and there was some conversation that got heated. There was some pushing, some shoving. She said that it was some chest bumping going on. I was just like chest bumping. All right, nigga, knock this piece of a rock off my shoulder kind of activity. She said, yeah, there was some shoving and shit. And before it could just get to a really bad place, one, because they were concerned that Ray J had a backpack on, and we saw Ray J get into it with Lemuel Plumber from Zeus a couple of months ago. And remember, he went around the truck and he got his backpack out and he had a gun in the backpack. At least that's what they said he had. So folks were kind of concerned that Ray J might have had a gun in his bag. Okay, so it was getting heated, it was getting loud, it looked like it was about to be some fisticuffs, and just so happened Chris Brown, okay, the resident Pyru, came in and saved the day. Hey blood, I'm not banging y'all, I'm just telling y'all how it went down. Hey blood, this ain't how it's supposed to be. We family. It ain't got to go here. Yada, yada, yada. Blop-de-blue, blase, blase. He broke it up. Somebody pulled Ray J back. Somebody pulled the boys back. And we all lived to see another day. Like I said, there were some paps apparently that was at that party that caught Hazel Lee and was able to get her, her version of what happened. However, the story hadn't blown up yet. Now, we know that WAC 100 has a show. I'm not sure if it's a podcast. I know that he goes on, what is it called? Spaces or something, where they have it's a whole big show now. I saw that he has a bunch of guests on his show and all this stuff, and they're all kind of there as Zoom, zoomed in, and they're having this conversation. And apparently WAC 100 had a conversation with Ray J. And he was just like, hey, homie, like, what happened? What happened? We heard about what happened with the Combs boys. He was just like, hey, fam, like, man, I don't even know. Hey, how much was it? How many people was it? Hey, fam, I don't even know. It was something like maybe 8 or something. What? Nigga, 8 niggas rolled up on you? That's the little homie. Okay, and then, Ray J was like, hey, fam, though, don't put this on the net, though. Don't put this on the net, Even though we know that Ray J wanted the shit on the net. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have called in to WAC 100 show. The shit is on social media, So, WAC was like, hey, man, it's already on. The net. Nigga, it's already up. Okay, what happened, So Ray J goes to explain, much like I said, without the details, that, they was tripping. They came up to him, on some shit. And Chris Brown, the homie Chris, thank God the homie Chris was there, and he came out and he was able to stop everything. And WAC 100 was just like, oh, the Pyru, the big Pyru, Child, I was just like, there's so much niggerdom that we got to get through just to get this conversation through, child. So, yes, Ray J was able to confirm with Mr. 100, okay, that there was an issue, that it got squashed. However, now there's some bad blood between Ray J and the Combs boys, okay? What I have to say to that is, Ray J, like I said, he do have a slick mouth. He will say some shit that get under people's skin and get on people's nerves. I mean, you can ask Prinky that, all right? So I understand how people can be very agitated and irritated with Ray J. However, I also think that the Combs boys needs to understand that it's just the climate. And this is the unfortunate part of being the child or children of a person like Puffy, who's in jail currently for a lot of really bad things, okay? And so it's just going to kind of come with, it's just going to kind of come with everything else that goes along with Puffy being incarcerated and being tried for sexual trafficking and drugs and rape and assault and all the other things, it just kind of comes with that. I definitely understand that their tempers are quite short. I understand that the block is hot. I understand that, they're tired of having to hear these things. Again, this is the unfortunate thing that your father has landed the whole family in. Everybody kind of is a byproduct, is a side effect of the shit that Puffy did. And that's the bad part about it, that he does the wrong, allegedly, and then the family has to pay for it. So again, I do feel sorry for the kids, but what I will say is that maybe you guys need to keep a lower profile. I know everybody wants to keep up appearances and make it seem like, you know, you're going on with your life and everything, but if you cannot control the anger that's going to come with the comments that people have about your father, you probably shouldn't be out, shouldn't be at these parties, shouldn't be at these situations. That's the same reason why I said that they shouldn't have that YouTube reality show kind of documentary or whatever that Quincy was trying to do that was showing like the behind the scenes of the family and everything, because you're opening yourself up to a lot of shit that really, honestly, you probably don't need right now. Okay? And again, you can't fight everybody. And trust me, everybody is talking about Puffy. Okay? So while I understand they probably felt like they needed to do this to Ray J because Ray J has been around the family. Okay, Ray J is considered maybe closer than other people to just lay randomly talking about their father. Now you got a nigga that's been up at the house, probably been around in some of these parties, probably, you know, kind of knows how things go in Hollywood, and yet and still now all of a sudden you got some shit to say as if you probably wasn't involved in some shit, not necessarily Puffy shit, but your own shit. Okay, and so yeah, I mean, I understand. But, you know, you can't fight all the homies. Hey, fam, you know, don't put this on the net. Don't put this on the... No, it's going on the net. You know it's going on the net. Whack 100 knows it's going on the net. Hazel knows, Chris Brown, everybody. Now, Chris Brown hasn't said anything about it because, you know, I guess they probably feel like this is like family shit. When I say family, I'm talking about, you know, possibly gang shit. Ray J is affiliated, Chris Brown affiliated, and all them, you know, call themselves Bloods and everything. So they probably, Chris Brown probably is feeling like, you know, that shit is just, we don't need it. That don't need to be on the internet and all this. This is family business, okay? And that's why Whack 100 was just like, hey, man, I'm going to call you. I'm going to pull up on you tomorrow. I was just like, yeah, Ray J is just, he's just Ray J, child. Did you guys see the conversation that him and Nicki Minaj had? See, the reason why I just can't stop smiling about it is because the shit is kind of funny. Like, it is kind of funny. It's not funny to tease the kids, obviously. But the situation, you know how Ray J, he always just really plays like so aloof and like he just don't know why everybody mad at him. You know, and Nicki Minaj, which was pretty ironic that Nicki Minaj was putting him in his place, but, you know, Nicki Minaj was just like, why is it that you thought that it was okay to say those things about their father, and, you know, and maybe even saying some things to them at the time, you know, because apparently Ray J said something along the lines of like, you know, I don't like baby oil or something. Saying something like, hey, y'all got y'all baby oil, like I ain't a baby oil kind of person, or whatever the hell he said. And I was just cracking up because Nicki was looking at him like, nigga, is you crazy? Like, why are you doing this? You know, the family is going through so much and there's a lot of people that's in pain behind this, and you know, you kind of joking about it. And Ray J's whole thing was like, but I'm not joking about it though. I'm not though, you know. That fucking conversation between the two of them are funny. First of all, Nicki Minaj is funny to me. Like when she gets in that mode where she's, you know, when she's just kind of looking, because she was kind of taking the same approach as when she was with Kai Cenat that time. That interview was fucking funny, and so was this conversation. But getting back to Ray J. Yeah, Ray could probably stand to not be talking so much about people, but that's what Ray J does. I mean, it just kind of comes with him. So people just have to get used to it. Those boys, unfortunately, are going to have to get way thicker skin, though. Way thicker. Because this is really just the beginning. We haven't even got to the case yet. It's going to ramp up even more when they finally make it to trial. So it's just sort of like, if you feel like you want to be outside and you want to be doing all the things that everybody else is going to do, you're going to have to realize that people are going to have things to say to you guys. And some people might be doing it on purpose to try to get a reaction out of you, you know, and you just going to have to learn how to just roll with the punches or stop going out altogether. If I was y'all, I would lay low. okay? Because somebody gonna bait you into a fight, and next thing you know, you're gonna have other drama. So but Ray J ain't right. Ray J ain't right, y'all. Y'all know Ray J ain't right. Okay. I'm sure this will all pass like everything else. I think Ray J said that they did have a conversation on the phone afterwards. So I'm assuming that everybody is in a better place, or maybe at least they just like, whatever, nigga, and gonna not deal with Ray J. But it is what it is, y'all. Just had to let y'all know about this fight with the Combs boys. Okay. Yeah, that fuse is real short, y'all. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. And I guess while we're talking about Puffy, we can kind of talk about Kalenna Harper as well, who was one third of the group Dirty Money with Puffy along with Don Richard. Okay. Remember, we believe that the reason why Puffy was finally arrested is because of all of those calls. He made, 56 phone calls, 54 phone calls or something to to Kalenna after Don had filed the lawsuit against him. And the feds were like, okay, we got to take him in because he is contacting possible witnesses, threatening them, scaring them, trying to coerce them into changing their stories, maybe possibly paying them off, all those things. So in order to be able to control what Puffy is doing, they had to put him behind bars. When Don Richard put that lawsuit in action and mentioned Kalenna, I think she said 34 times or something in the lawsuit, Kalenna was upset about that. And remember, she put out a statement at the time and said that the way that Don remembers things is not the way that she remembers things. Okay, that's in layman's. All right, that's me just paraphrasing. She said more, but that was basically what she was saying. And, people had their opinions. Some people felt like she should be able to speak her truth. Other people felt like she needed to just not say nothing. I was of that group. But many of you guys was like, no, she should be able to say how she saw things. We can't all just assume that everything that everybody says about Puffy is true. Okay. So on that vein, now we have Kalenna in an interview. I'm sorry, I didn't get the information, the name of the interviewer or the show that she was on, but she was in this interview. It was a black and white interview that was posted on social media. I saw some clips of it on Instagram, and she was talking about her experience with Puffy. Now, first of all, what I will say is when I watched the interview, didn't look at no comments, didn't look at anything, just watched what the girl was saying. I was thinking to myself, like, why is she talking like that? To me, it felt like she was intoxicated. Okay. I was like, is she intoxicated? Is she on something? Like, what is happening here? Because her conversation, I remember her from when she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And she didn't seem like she was that same type of way. So I was like, what is going on with her speech and all of that? I did find, after I watched the interview, I was looking down in the comments and other people also was feeling that same way. Like maybe she was on something. I saw that the interviewer was in the comments as well and said that he was with her the entire day. And no, she was not on anything. He definitely was with her. She didn't drink anything and all that. And I was just like, it ain't nothing to pop a pill. You would never know if somebody did that. But okay, he says that she wasn't on anything. We'll say that she wasn't on anything. The conversation was strange in the sense that it felt like she was affected in the way that she was speaking. Anyway, moving on. She just talked about her experience with Puffy. And the way that she explained the experience, it was like night and day. You would think that her and Don weren't even in the same fucking group, weren't in the same rooms, didn't sing together, didn't do nothing together because their stories are so opposite of each other that, when I'm listening to it, I'm just like, okay, maybe it's somewhere down the middle. Okay. But I'm going to still lean towards Don. However, I also think that Kalenna probably did have a better experience with Puffy because she was married to her husband So Puffy probably did not approach Kalenna the same way that he did Don. You know, she does have a man there. I'm hoping that her husband was protective of her. And so Puffy probably could not always do the same things to her that he did to Don. So maybe her experience, we're going to just kind of throw her a bone and say, okay, maybe her experience was different than what Don is saying her experience was. My thing is, Kalenna can say how she saw things without diminishing what Don went through. Okay. And so that's the part that I don't think that I think that Kalenna is more making it seem like, oh, Puffy wasn't that bad and the girls wanted to do what they were doing, you know, and she kind of made it seem like Don was happy to be there with Puffy, and he didn't make him work to death, and he did all these great things for him, and, you know, and so and then she talked about Cassie and saying that Cassie did love to party and she loved to get high, and, you know, she did all of these things. I mean, yes, I guess if you're addicted to something, then you do love those things, you know. And then once you are always on drugs, like, everything kind of gets skewed. Why is this guy so close to my car? Everything kind of gets skewed, and you don't know if this is something that you really want to do. Is it the addiction that's talking? Are you trying to cope to get through the day? You know, do you enjoy it? Or is this like just what your life is? You've accepted it. I'm addicted to drugs. You know, my man crazy. It's all this chaos in my life, you know, so watching that didn't change my opinion of Puffy. Because again, it's obvious that Kalenna sees her experience differently than the way that Don did. I don't think that means that should discount the things that Don said that she went through. I guess Kalenna just would have liked Don to not include her on anything. And I mean, I guess Don really could have done that. Maybe Don thought that Kalenna would corroborate her story. Maybe it probably would have been a good idea for Don to reach out to Kalenna to find out exactly what her stance was going to be before she did her lawsuit, so that, you know, she didn't have to deal with somebody saying basically that she's lying. Kalenna did not say that she's lying. She just said that she doesn't remember it that same way. Okay? Maybe. Playing devil's advocate. I mean, if everybody is on fucking drugs, you know, maybe everybody's damn memory of things is a little skewed. So, I mean, two things can be true. I mean, the things that Don went through could have happened. Kalenna maybe did not get as severe treatment. I mean, we actually remember at one part when Don was saying that they were locked in the car and then they came and got Kalenna. I'm assuming probably is because her husband probably knew about it and was like, get my wife out that fucking car, you know, and they did. So that kind of lets you know that Don got a different treatment than Kalenna did. She didn't have a man that was protecting her, you know, however minimal and basic protection it might have been. Don didn't have that there. So their experiences may have been different. I know that Kalenna has been through some things with her husband and her kids, and so she's probably trying to present herself in a much more structured, you know, not a negative type of environment, you know, especially if she doesn't have custody. I don't know if she still don't have custody of her kids. I think at one time she didn't have custody of her kids and she was trying to get her kids back. That's what the story was when Don Richard had put in that lawsuit. So, you know, all of this might be a thing where she is trying to convince her social worker, you know, on the low. She's trying to convince the social worker like, no, I wasn't involved in that kind of shit. You know, I'm on the up and up. Give me my damn kids. Okay. So, you know, I mean, I guess I can't fault Kalenna if she's trying to get her kids back. You know, she got to do what she got to do and everything. But, yeah, the interview, I was just like, is it even necessary? Well, I mean, again, people want to say, protect them. I mean, you know, speak out for themselves. So, I mean, it is what it is, child. Did Kalenna change your mind is what I'm trying to ask you. Did Kalenna change your mind about what Puffy has done? Again, I know there are so many fucking lawsuits, and I do believe that there are some people in there that are lying. All right. But when we talking about Dawn and Cassie, okay, I believe those stories. I believe those stories. But you guys let me know what you thought about the Kalenna interview. If you saw it, do you believe what she said? I mean, she painted a picture of Puffy so different than Don and Cassie and all these other people have, that, like I said, you would think that they was talking about two totally different people. Two totally different people. I do believe, though, that Diddy has the ability to compartmentalize and kind of shapeshift and become a different person depending on the people that he's around. I do believe that. I do believe that Puffy, a lot of Hollywood already knew how Puffy was, but I also believe that those really, really dark parts of Puffy, he made sure that most people did not see that. Okay? There may have been talk, but you ain't seen it. So there's that as well, you guys. But yeah, y'all tell me what you thought about the Kalenna Harper thing. Did it change any views for you? Leave all that below. Remember on the last top of the blogs, I was telling you guys about this YSL trial and the plea deals that were being discussed. Okay, well, now we've got some plea deals that were accepted. We had Lil Rod, mama named him Rodalius Ryan. And we had Quay, mama named him Marquavius Huey. And we had Quay Marvius, all these goddamn names. Quay. I'm telling you, they loved Quay out here in Atlanta. Quay Marvius Nichols. These three gentlemen all accepted plea deals. Okay, I don't know what Quay Marvius Nichols' deal was, but I do know that Lil Rod got 10 years. But that was commuted to time served. Quay got 25 years, 9 years in jail, 9 years on probation. 5 years of that jail sentence was suspended. And I'm assuming maybe with good behavior, possibly he could get out earlier. Again, I don't know what Quay Marvius got on his plea deal, but they all pled guilty to the one count of the RICO charge. Okay, so that now only leaves 2 defendants and Thug. So 3 defendants are left, and I don't know what that means for Young Thug. If these 2 other guys take a plea deal and it's just Thug that's left, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I was trying to look it up to see. The case will be over and the feds are gonna pick it up. I don't know. But it is not really good that everybody has pled out. Okay. I think they're trying to force Thug to plead. I think they want him to take a plea deal as well, because they want him to stay in jail, but he's not doing that. It looks like he's trying to sit it out, him and his lawyers and everything. So yeah, I don't know what that means for them, but this probably is not the best situation for Thug. Okay, what y'all know about it? Maybe y'all can let us know, what this means. My real Rockstar lawyers. And if everybody plea out, what happens to Young Thug if he's the last man standing? Is it going to continue on the lawsuit, or do we start over, mistrial, or this trial is over? The child, I don't know. But y'all let me know, and we're going to move on to the next story. Hey, what's up, Rockstars? Editing Roxanne from the future, letting you guys know that I was asking the question, what happens to Thug if everybody pleads out? And I guess we got our answer. He did plead guilty to 6 charges. I don't have them off the top of my head right now. But he pled guilty to 6 charges, and the prosecution was asking for, I think, 45 years in jail. Of course, the defense wanted him to be released immediately, and the judge was the sole person to make the decision of what his sentencing was, and the judge decided to commute his sentence to time served. He'll be on probation for 15 years, and there are other stipulations. Community service and the such cannot get in any trouble if he does violate his probation in any kind of way. He goes back to jail for 20 years. He is banned from the city of Atlanta unless he's only here for weddings or funerals. Other than that, he's got to move out the city. He said that he planned on doing that. He actually did apologize to the judge and said that, you know, he basically don't know how he found himself in some of the situations. Maybe he was too nice, whatever he had to say, but he did apologize. He did take accountability, which I thought was a good idea, and glad he did do that. And he said he was a smart guy and just, you know, I guess made some bad decisions. So judge seems to think that he's not a threat to society and has released him. He is free. And probably at home right now as I speak. This is Thursday. And I just decided to, you know, record this real fast and put it in because, of course, like any other time, I'll do a whole full video about something and then the news will break about it right after I finish. So it was the same situation here. We found out about Thug's freedom after I had already recorded and, you know, started edit. Actually, I already edited the video. I'm gonna have to put this in there and re-upload it. All right, but just letting you know, young Thug, mama named him Jeffrey Wright, is a free man. Did you guys see that 50 Cent said that that they will not be bringing Omari Hardwick back to the Power Universe show because Omari thinks too highly of himself, and so many people got upset about that. I laughed at it because I told you guys a long time ago that it was clear that Omari Hardwick was the problem. Now, I don't know what the particulars were between Omari and Courtney and 50 and all that, but it was clear that 50 and Courtney had some issue with Omari. The reason why I say that is because they got rid of Omari, who was the lead character. The show was named after him and built around him, Ghost, the character on Power. Okay? They got rid of the main character that the fucking show was developed about and kept the whole rest of the cast, and just decided to let the son take over. And no, Tariq obviously is not going to be Ghost. The acting is different. The whole timbre of the show was different once we changed it over to Tariq. However, that's what they did. Okay? So who gets rid of the main character and then keeps the whole show, changes the name, but keeps the whole premise of everything and just pushes it on to the son, other than a show that's tired of the main character? Okay? We know Omari. Listen, I loved him as Ghost too. I think that nobody else can play that character but him. He was great in the character, and I agree. He is Ghost, okay? There's no Power without Ghost. I get all that. However, Omari been special for a long time. This shit ain't nothing new. I believe 100% when 50 says what he says, okay? People all upset and y'all didn't pay him enough and do-do-do-the-blopty blue. Of course, when the show first started, it wasn't making as much as it did when it ended. I would hope that everybody was making more money when the show ended as opposed to when it first started. You know, I ain't even caring about all that pay stuff. What I'm talking about is the character of the person, okay? And Omari, I just have never thought, he is special. And I can see him being an asshole, like 50 Cent basically has said. He didn't say those words, but he's reading between the lines. I very well can see Omari. When we done seen him treat fans crazy, and yeah, it's clear that Omari was the problem, y'all. I know y'all gonna be down in the comments like, Omari was ghosting. I don't give a fuck, y'all. I don't care. I mean, I would love to see Omari come back as Ghost. I thought that that's what they were trying to go towards when Tommy was talking about, you know, Ghost never dies and they were going to bring everybody back together and all that. So I was hoping that maybe Omari was coming back, but 50 Cent pretty much shot that idea out the water. Okay. And if they do get together, it's going to be without Omari. So Tariq is now the Ghost. Okay. He kept his business going, and then we all know that. So if the show does end up where everybody is back together, I think that Tariq is still going to be the one that carries on that torch as Ghost, and y'all can just forget about your Omari Hardwick dreams. Okay? All right. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. About to order my sushi. I'm here at Lucky Key, you guys. So we do this every single week. So make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars.